Satan does. So Satan talks to you, slap her. Have you been to secondary school where there's one if I was the one, if I was the one, no, they are telling you, no, for letting, in fact, some people even go to the extent of drawing, this is my house, this is my, like, they'll draw a line on the sand, they'll say, this is your father's house, clean his father's house, and they are whining you.
Hello everyone, welcome to Conversation, story behind my book with Rev Stephen Nyenty, where we share stories behind each of his books and insightful topics from his book. I am Akisuoju Opeyemi, and I have with me here Rev Stephen Nyenty.
Hello everyone, thank you for being a part of our conversations.
Yes, you're welcome to this channel once again. And in today's episode, we'll be looking at an amazing topic from the book we started discussing in the last episode, which is Miraculous, the Evilizing Power of Offense and Anger and Peer Pressure. And in today's episode, we're looking at anger. That's one of the topics from the table of contents. So we remember that in the last episode, we displayed the table of contents, and I'm sure in this episode too it will be displayed. So the reason why we're displaying is so as to get you familiarized with the table of content, and also if you want us to discuss any of these topics, do well to use the comment section and let us know which of the topics you would like us to discuss on. So we'll be looking at anger today. So what state, or what do you even refer to as anger as a person? So we'll look at what Reverend has to share with us here. We'll look at the definition of what Reverend refers to as anger here. And also I want you to engage as you're watching currently. Share with us what you feel anger is. Have you been in that state whereby you've been angry? Have you been in that state whereby you've seen someone who displayed an angry vibe? What can you express as that word anger? So please use the comment section and let us get to hear your perspective. Share your perspective with us about the word anger, because we are conversing. So you should learn from the video and we should get to hear from you. So in this book, anger is a feeling of displeasure or annoyance towards offense by means of feeling insulted, cheated, disappointed, or betrayed. So that means if you are joyful, anger cannot be stirred. It is when you feel an expression, a displeasure. It is a strong feeling of displeasure or annoyance that you show when somebody actually does something bad to you. When you feel, this person just insulted my person. You mean this person just said this to me? This person spoke to me in this tone. That's where anger is being stirred. So when you are in that joyful state, where you are happy, relaxed, and nothing is disturbing you, you are not angry. You don't feel insulted. There is no reason for you to just throw a tantrum and, I'm angry. No, you're not an angry bird. So something must have happened. Something must have led to something. It could have just been that somebody must have insulted you, spoken to you in a way that you do not like or you do not appreciate. It could be that somebody must have cheated you. It could be a feeling of disappointment. I put my trust in this person or in this thing and now it has failed. A feeling of disappointment or feeling betrayed. How could this person have done this to me? So these are all expression. These are things that stirs up anger, that well up anger in you, and you feel like, oh no, I can't take this and I need to respond in this certain way. And that's why we have annoyance. You respond in a way whereby the person who even feels that I've done beyond my limits, and that expression comes in anger. But then as we are able to, I believe that you're sharing with us your view. So if you're not sharing with us your view yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. So I believe that you are sharing with us in the comment section your view about anger. So, and I like to say that this is a state whereby anyone can be in. We are not all perfect in ourselves. You can be angry, and someone can also be angry towards you. Someone can feel betrayed or insulted based on the way you related with them, cheated or disappointed because they placed a level of trust in you. So, but then, in all of this, agreeing on one thing, that anger is real. Anger is something that we cannot shy away from, that happen even when you don't plan it. So now, how do we manage anger when it shows its face, when it knocks on our door? So now, this and more is what we'll be discussing in this episode. So do well to engage. So we've established the fact that anger is real and it can happen to anyone. Knock on your door anytime, any day. So sir, I'd like you to share with us the state of an angry person. Like in our previous episode, we talked about something related, but now we're talking about anger in itself. and how that people can be angry and situations can stir up anger in you as a person. So now, how do you bring that anger issue into like explaining the state of an angry person? Because I believe our viewers have been angry before. Yes, but the reason why we are discussing from this book is to gain light, understanding. We gain advantage over this situation. So when we talk about the state of an angry person, it makes them be able to think that, I've been in this situation. Yeah. So this is what was happening to me. It brings this graphic mind. It makes them think about it. And then, this is how I would have done better. So I'd like you to share with us the state of an angry person.
All right. So thank you very much for that question you asked. The state of an angry person is a very delicate state. It's a very sensitive one. I'll put it that way. It's just like if, for instance, now you have body pain, and then you went to get it massaged, and then you touch a side. Don't press it too much, or you've been injured. I remembered maybe you've broken the leg or you bruised a part of your body, and then now your mom or someone wants to press it for you. The way you will shout, because that part is a very sensitive one. That is how anger is. And unfortunately, the devil zooms in on that and takes advantage of that one. So instead of massaging it to relieve the pain, he actually massages it to intensify the pain. And that becomes a problem. So I want you to imagine or just think about that. That helps you out a lot. Now, let's take our text. If you look at the book of Genesis chapter 4, there's something there that God said to Cain. Genesis 4, 26 to 27. Genesis chapter 4, verse 26 to 27. Look at what it says. Go ahead and be angry. All right. Ephesians chapter 4, Ephesians 4, 26 to 27. All right. There's something there from the Message version. I want us to look at before we go back to Cain. All right. So go ahead and be angry. You do well to be angry. You see, the first thing I would like to tell you that the state of anger is not on its own an evil state. You see, as the definition implies, it said the feeling of displeasure. So when a person is unhappy about a circumstances, a situation, a person, or an event, that is anger. And the Bible says in Ephesians chapter 4, it says you do well to be angry. Yeah. It said, but the problem is sustained anger. That is what the devil looks out for. So when a person begins to sustain anger, you don't want to give yourself reasons to calm down, reasons to let go of anger. You want to hold on to the anger. Then it becomes a problem. It reminds me of this film we saw recently, Fantasy Island. All right, Fantasy Island. So they all went to this. It's a movie, all right. So they all went to this fantasy camp, or wherever you call it, event center or so, where according to them they can make your dreams come true. So a lot of weird things happened. A lot of spooky things happened. People died there. So I'm sure it was not anybody's fantasy to have their loved one or the person they even wished to harm die. But things went bad for them. But see, at the end of the day, we found out that a person there who was acting like a friend was real reason why a lot of bad things were happening. The person had an anger issue. According to her, she felt that nobody ever looked at her, nobody ever loved her. Friends in school bullied her, and then here she is. She had a guy from school who asked her out, and she was happy. They went on their first date, and it was quite impressive. And they were planning to meet again on a particular day, and found out that the guys didn't show. She was disappointed, and she felt that everybody thinks I'm ugly. Nobody thinks. And then suddenly she found out in the news that the building where the guy was staying caught fire, and the guy died. All right. And then she investigated and found out that some of her schoolmates were also staying in the same building, and they all had opportunities to have come rescue the guy, but for some reason they didn't even bother about thinking about the guy, because everybody was just running after to take care of themselves and whoever was closest to them. So she brought them to that fantasy island to take revenge on her boyfriend, on her dead boyfriend. All right. I know she kept venting and saying, well, I loved him. He was the only person I loved. Blah, 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 blah. And everybody had that body now, Jebode. How do they call it in Jebure, accept our plea, ma binu. But no, you people must suffer. That was the storyline. So now eventually there was a rule. The rule is whoever takes a certain water, because everybody who had come to that campground to have their fantasy realized must drink a certain water, and that gives them the power, that gives the demon or whatever ability to bring their fantasy to fruition in some extent. So now there was this particular lady who hadn't participated in the fantasy, so she was kidnapped to come and be tortured. So after everybody begged her, now she was going to kill everybody. So they now told her, I say, you know what you will do? Since this girl doesn't want to accept, I think she herself, she's not in the game. You need to bring her to the game. So why not? You have not taken the water. So why not take the water? And also wish, Aladdin and Genie, right? Have a wish, make a wish. And your wish. So she said, okay. So she had this water she had stolen to go and use as an experiment outside the place. They ever go out to report to the authorities. So she quickly took a little sip of water and then she made a wish. And the wish was that this girl now, who was going to take revenge on her boyfriend, who is not yet her boyfriend, but they were going to be boyfriend now and girlfriend. She was going to take revenge. She said, I wish that you go and meet your dead boyfriend wherever he is. Wow. And suddenly, the dead boyfriend came out from nowhere, from the water, and kidnapped her and was going to take her back into the water. And she was struggling, no, please help, please help, please help. And this thought came to my mind. I thought you together forever. I thought there is a guy. I thought you claimed to miss the guy. I thought this is the guy. Well, now the guy has come to take you home. Home sweet home. And why you say help? Well, beef to exactly. Be together forever. So I found out that it was all nonsense. It was just some funny person who now has a reason to be angry and to sustain anger. So the point of the emphasis is that this lady was willing to go all out to kill everybody if possible, all just for a disillusionment that is not real, a relationship that has not even started. But she was angry definitely because her life didn't start the way she would have thought her life should start. So she wanted to take revenge on everyone. But the point was sustained anger from secondary school. Now people have moved on to with their lives. Now that's when you want to, after let's say 15 years. That is sustained anger. And that one, it says here, it says, go ahead and be angry. You do well to be angry, but don't use your anger as fuel for revenge. I think anger that now begins to lead to thinking, planning on how to harm others or how to retaliate for what others do to you is a terrible one, and that one is a red sign. No, don't go there. Danger. Don't pass that boundary. He said, don't give the devil a foothold in your life. That's from the Message version of the Bible. All right, and that was the situation with Cain. Cain was angry, but he kept the anger sustained. Now, this was the advice God gave him. Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. Genesis 4:7. It says, like anger is like a wild animal at your door. It will like an animal that wants to eat you. So anger is not your ally. Anger is actually your enemy. It will use you. Anger is a parasite. It will use you to devour others and come back like a parasite and devour you as well. When it has nothing else to eat, it consumes you. So the state of anger is such that we must be very careful. So do you understand? Have I been able to?
Very well. I think Reverend has shared the whole of God in that one question, and that's a state any one of us can be in. You are viewers watching. You can be in that situation whereby you are hungry. Yes, even the scripture says to us, it comforts you. I have a right to be angry. Yes, you do. Everyone has a right to be angry. But where the issue lies is sustaining the anger. At that point where the anger is being sustained, you give room to the devil. The devil take advantage of you. He use you as a tool to kill other people's joy. And then you yourself, you are not left the same. Yes. So you'll be wondering, all of this discussion or this conversation, is it all in this book? Yes, it is. So if you've not click on the link attached to this video to get this book. It is free soft copy. If you've not clicked on it, then you are missing out. I really don't know what you're waiting for. So please do well right now. Click on the link attached to this video and request for a copy of your book. Also, we're looking at another topic or another question from this particular discussion we are having. And that is going to be like, what are the right perspectives to an angry person, a person who is in an angry state? Because definitely we've already established the fact that you can be angry. And then we also brought it to what state, like what can you describe an angry person? How can you describe that expression? That's what Reverend just shed light on. So now when a person is in that state of anger, in that process, how well can a person manage their perspective? So what are the right perspectives to anger?
All right, so the right perspective to anger, that's a very important question to ask, because anger must have a context. And many times, the only way anger goes beyond, you see, fire is good, but many times, if it doesn't have a boundary, if it doesn't have a context of usage, it can destroy than helping make life easy for us. All right, so that's how anger is. Now, let's look at Genesis chapter 4, verse 6 to 7. Let's look at what God says about anger first. Then we continue. He said, then God said to Cain, why are you angry? Why do you look sad? If you do wrong things, sin will be like an animal at your door. It will be like an animal that wants to eat you. But he said, but you must be his master. That is him. God wants us to master anger. How do we master anger? How do we put a leash around the neck of anger? How do we utilize and maximize anger to such an extent whereby it's not the one using us, but we are using it for good reasons eventually? All right, and that is where the perspective we are trying to establish comes from. So perspective number one I will share in this point now is anger is permissible but not approved. You see, anger is permissible. You know, he said the good, the perfect, and the good, the acceptable, and the perfect will of God. So anger is good, but I don't think, according to scripture, that anger is acceptable in the long run, and anger is the perfect will of God. You see, the fruit of the Spirit has nothing about anger. The fruit of the Spirit says joy, love, gentleness, peace, long suffering, and all. But there was no anger there. So that means even though you are angry, that is not the best of God for you. So look at it again. God asks, why are you angry? You know what God is saying? Is it necessary to be angry? Must you really be angry? You see, must you be angry? But if you are angry, no wahala, no problem. Ensure you put a healthy restraint or a boundary. Put it in a cage. Make sure that it does not go beyond a certain limitation. So anger should not go beyond a certain limitation. So anger is permissible, but not approved, not something that God would encourage us to make as a lifestyle. The book of Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. Proverbs 25:28 says something that I want you to look at. An angry man is a weak man. Yes. An angry man is a weak man. You see, many of you think to be weak means you don't have stamina. To be weak means you need to, many of us define to be strong as gymming. Yeah, we are carrying weights, iron bay weights kind of thing. No. To be weak is to be given to anger. You don't have ability to come over anger. An angry man is a weak man. It's like a city without walls. Now look at, it's like a city without walls that an enemy can attack. When you are angry, you are vulnerable. That's why God said that like a wild animal. And he said when you are angry, you have given anger the ability to consume you like a wild animal. Exactly. So no matter how it is, you must understand that the most subtle form of attack against any person, mental attack, financial attack, spiritual attack, relational attack, is at the point of anger. Because anything can go wrong, and you are likely even conscious of what you say, what you do when you are angry. So it's important that you see that as a perspective you must put. So you must, in fact, if possible, you must avoid anger. You must avoid anger. The second thing I would like to share before I hand over to our presenter is, before you get angry, judge yourself. Yeah. That's an important one as well. So we are talking about anger. We're looking at the right perspective for anger. And we're saying, before you get angry, before you start taking stones to stone, judge yourself. God said, if you do what is right, I will be happy with you. But if you do wrong things, sin will be like a wild animal at your door. You must understand that there could be a reason why a person does what they do to you. Why are you getting angry unnecessarily? Why do you feel that you are being unfairly treated? You see, I used to tell my people, I say, see, for the fact that you stepped on me and you did not realize you stepped on me, but you stepped on me, does not make, for the fact that you don't realize you stepped on me, but you stepped on me, and I say, hey, you stepped on me, does not make me stepping on you not true, not view. You know, every malam to sketch. Everybody knows where it hurts the most. So you must understand that if somebody tells you, see, many of us, we get angry because other people retaliate, other people ignore us, other people tell us what is right, what is wrong, other people tell it straight to our face, and we feel we are underappreciated, we feel angry, we feel unhappy about it, we feel abused, we feel insulted about it. But God says, judge yourself. Do you have a role in this matter? Do you have a contributing factor? Are you a contributing factor to this outburst, to this scenario? Is this anger even warranted for? Sometimes this anger we have is not warranted for. It's just do me, I do you. and again you are angry. Now you are getting angry. But if you have not done that thing, there will be no, it's like anger is like a cause and effect. If you have not done what you have done, there will be no effect. So maybe there's a cause to the effect you are having. But you don't realize. So many times we get what we give. We reap what we sow. Respect is reciprocal. So I have noticed that people want to abuse others verbally, morally, emotionally, relationally, or corporately, but don't want to be corrected. People don't want to be scolded. People don't want to be warned. People don't want to be sacked. People don't want to be beaten. And so when those things now happen as a reaction, they get angry. Look at Cain. Abel brought an acceptable offering. He went all for it. He went to the ends of the earth and he labored to bring an acceptable offering. And yet what you brought, you just brought what you could bring. The leftovers at home. Something that you did not labor, you did not struggle for. You were complacent with your sacrifice. And God said, no, I'm not going to accept that sacrifice. And yet you are, oh, me, you know the answer, elagimo. That's it. So there are some things that you should not be angry about. So my advice on that matter is, there is no smoke without fire. So before you also push back, take a step backward and reason. Let's reason. Did I do any? Is what this person saying to me? Do they have a right? Is there a truth? Even if it is half truth, is there a truth that can change the dynamics of this issue? You get, right? Is there a truth? And that's what makes the difference. So we can go ahead to talk more, but let's allow our presenter.
Reverend just shared with us some right perspectives to anger, and one of them is anger is permissible but it's not approved. So you should watch yourself. Yes, that you can be angry, but then God will not expect that you sustain it. Yes, and also he shared with us that we should learn to judge ourselves before anybody says something to you or does something to you. We should learn to what? Judge ourselves and get to know, oh, why did this person say this to me? What have I done to have warranted this? Because it is very, very important. That's by so doing, we also don't respond in a certain way. And we're also able to either apologize or even make the situation better. But when we don't learn to judge ourselves, to actually evaluate what we have done wrong, to actually warranted an attitude, a response from a person, we also don't get the perspective. And by so doing, we don't manage anger. We even make it worse than it is already. So now, in this book, I'm saying that you must get the book, because there's a whole lot in this book that we don't even have the time. We don't have that luxury to share with us. So, but then I have another question from this book, which is my masquerading friend. So anger can be referred to as a masquerading friend. But then I'd like parents to shed light on it and then give us an inside story that we can all relate with. The reason why this will be discussed is so that we can also understand that aside the part whereby we need to judge ourselves, we need to also understand the impact anger is creating and what it intends to achieve in our life if we don't put healthy restraint and perspective to it.
All right. So my masquerading friend, thank you, Miss Ope, for that. Now God said it will be like an animal that wants to eat you up. Now, one thing about anger is that it's masquerading because the devil, just like what we saw in the last episode, Okmov tried to communicate with the victim now of anger, the person who is angry, and in their point of anger, you would have thought that they are saying, "Oh, don't be angry again. It will be fine. Just let go. Let bygone be bygone." But no, no, no. Okumov was actually saying, "Oh, I understand why you're angry. In fact, I would like to help you to vent your anger. I would like to help you to express anger. What can I do? Okay, let me give you power. Let me give you ability. Let me give you opportunity to use all the anger, all the ideas you have to inflict pain on people." That's what is called a masquerading form. But guess what? No, there's this movie I watch. I'm always into movies, so you see, that's another thing. You see, you will notice about me. I watch a lot of movies. Yes. That's for some other time. But I believe that movies have a lot of teachings. Right, movies, all right, have a lot of teachings for us. So I remember that I was watching this psycho film some years back on Lifetime. It was a psycho film. So this film, this young lady had a mom. Had a mom who married a man. So now that man will be her stepdad now, right? So who married a man, and then she felt that her mom was unhappy. Right? She felt her mom was unhappy, and she suspected or she assumed that the reason why her mom was unhappy was because her stepdad was cheating on the mom. And so she had this perception and went ahead to do a lot of things. And even assume, and then the mom died, and she strongly believed that it was the dad that killed her mom. And suddenly, from nowhere, the mom appeared like a ghost, our Nigerian kind of film, but it's not a Nigerian film, but a Nigerian kind of film, and started talking to her. You see, on her now, you see, but I noticed that the ghost was only establishing all the thoughts, all the supposition, all the assumption this lady has carried in her mind. So she started saying, "Well, this man killed me. Go and investigate." Until she killed her stepdad. She eventually killed her stepdad, set up the man, killed the man. Now, and then during the funeral of now her stepdad, eventually the police found out that she was the one that killed the man. Now, all the while, this her mom imagery was always showing, talking to her, and the mom was now, the mom imagery was encouraging her to kill the father, to kill her husband, her stepdad. Now, the woman was always this ghost was always encouraging her daughter, "Kill him for me. He killed me. He killed me." He was dating that neighbor, and so she killed him. But then the police, on a lengthy investigation, they found out that number one, the woman had severe chronic depression. That the stepdad didn't tell. No, he was aware and he was managing, but didn't tell his stepdaughter because he felt it was something that shouldn't be discussed. So, and the woman went to the point whereby she had suicidal thought and killed herself. So, but because she had too much of anger, too much of assumptions, suppositions, and all, this demon now who came as her mom encouraged her as a friend, sympathized with her and said, you please take vengeance on my behalf. And she went to kill her stepdad. And then she found out later that it was not the stepdad that killed the mom, it was her mom that killed herself. Number two, the police also found out that it was this stepdaughter that killed her father, her stepdad. But that's not even the interesting part. Do you know the interesting part? Immediately the police came and said, "You're under arrest," and they put handcuffs. Do you know what the ghost of the mother said? "Oh, my dear daughter, I'm sorry, but I cannot follow you to jail." We'll meet some other time. You're going alone. I can't, I'm a ghost, I can't go there now. And that's how the ghost vanished. And she went to jail on her own. That was a masquerading friend who didn't have the love of this lady at heart. It was all just a wink, just to deceive the girl, to carry out her anger. That's how Satan does. So Satan talks to you, slap her. You know, have you been to secondary school where there's whining? If I was the one, if I was the one, no. No, they are telling you, no. For letting, in fact, some people even go to the extent of drawing. This is my house. This is my like they'll draw a line on the sand. They'll say, "This is your father's house." Clean his father's house. Show, and they are whining you. And you yourself, you are going for them, and you go and clean, and then before you know, they beat and something bad happens to you. And something bad happens to you. You see, a masquerading friend. Anger is a masquerading friend. When next you are angry, remember that many times anger is not your real friend. Anger is there to pretend like they care for you, pretend like they have your best interest at hand, pretend like how can I help you? So let me give you ideas, let me give you thoughts that you can use to show that you cannot be bullied anymore, to show that you can no longer be insulted anymore. But you don't know that it's a setup, and they are going to Jojo. Yes, Jojo. So that's all I will say for now. Thank you very much.
Episode, and it's actually a very, very insightful one, because if you listen from the beginning to this point, you'll be able to understand that these are things that happen in our personal life. They are real, they are not far-fetched, they are not abstract, they are things you can relate with. And in this situation where you are hungry, where you are, you've even offended somebody and someone is angry towards you, how best you manage the situation? And in this last part of this episode, those were the things we were discussing on the right perspective to anger. Anger is not your friend. So when you are angry, the scripture has already encouraged you, and Rev has also encouraged us that at every point where anger sets in, we should try our possible best not to sustain anger. Yes, it is not there to actually achieve any good thing. Rather, the aftermath of it is actually devastating. So do well to comment on this video if you've not commented. Do well to like this video. Do well to share the video to your loved ones. And look forward to hearing more from us in our next episode. Thank you, and God bless you.